How great would it be to know what our pets are thinking at any moment in the day? Unfortunately, we might not be skilled in the languages of our furry friends, but that doesn't mean other animals can't give it a shot. Baby was a blind rescue cow who lived at an animal sanctuary in Massachusetts. She would cry for days on end, and the rescue team couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. It took the talents of a very unlikely pal to help crack the case. Don't Forget Us Pet Us is an animal sanctuary in Dartmouth, Massachusetts, and for a long time it was the home of a blind cow named Baby. Being limited with her inability to see, the staff knew she'd likely need care for the rest of her life.
Before we begin, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell to be inspired by these heartwarming stories every day.
Luckily for her, the sanctuary's owner, Deb Devlin, went above and beyond to give Baby the round-the-clock care she required. While Baby was generally content, something wasn't quite right with her. Baby was lonely. There were no other cows at the sanctuary, after all. After moping around day after day, the staff had a revelation. What if they introduced Baby to another animal entirely? Enter Lulu the pig, whose legs were accidentally broken by her mother when she was just a piglet. Though Lulu and Baby were different species, they both had special needs. Not only did Baby and Lulu both have disabilities, but they had similar backgrounds, too. Having been rescued from slaughterhouses in the United States, they seemed to share a similar demeanor. There was only one way to tell if they'd become friends: have them meet. Much to the staff's delight, Baby and Lulu immediately bonded. I had tried to pair Baby up with other animals, and it just didn't work, one of the caretakers explained. I didn't think the pig would be aggressive to the cow, and the pig was plenty sturdy. If the cow accidentally bumped into her, Lulu would be okay, Deb also explained. She and the rest of her staff kept their fingers crossed that this unlikely friendship would work out. For the next 8 years, Lulu and Baby would form a tight bond. The staff often referred to Lulu as Baby's seeing eye pig. During that time, they were rarely separated and they displayed a friendship that astounded everyone who worked at the sanctuary. While many of the other animals at the facility had free range to go and do as they please, Lulu and Baby were different. They had to learn to have fun much closer to home than the other animals due to their respective handicaps. Baby and Lulu did practically everything together. Even mealtime wasn't routine, it was a chance to chow down with a friend. Thanks to Lulu, Baby's blindness wasn't as much of an issue, until one dreadful day. After 8 years together, Lulu's time on Earth had come to an end. After her passing, Baby the cow was once again left in the dark. What was she going to do without her best friend to help her get around? Baby's demeanor changed almost instantly. After Lulu's passing, Baby mooed for 2 days. She also walked in circles frantically, hitting the fencing, Deb recalled. I tried to pair her with a sheep, a goat, but nothing worked at all. No animal or disguise could make up for the loss of Lulu. Growing worried, Deb attempted to have Baby mingle with various other animals, but nothing seemed to be able to replace her lost friend. Yet, just when all hope seemed lost, another rescued animal arrived at the sanctuary. It was a baby calf. The sanctuary staff hoped to get the 2 animals acquainted immediately. The day the calf arrived, I had set up 2 small areas divided by an 8-foot gate. I was hoping to acclimate the 2 side by side first, Deb explained. Deb hoped the animals would become used to being around one another. Baby could get used to her noises, movement, smell, sounds. She was so in tune to those things, not having her sight. Deb was anxious, but she was about to learn that she didn't have to be. When the calf unloaded into her small pen, she was nervous and timid. She quickly saw Baby and she blasted that gate off its hinges. Deb recalled. It was still secured on one side by a chain, so she jumped the 4-foot width of the gate and ran to Baby's side. And just like that, Baby's spirits were up. The spunky new arrival, who'd escaped a slaughterhouse just like Baby, took one look at Baby before she set off like a rocket for the cow. Any worry they wouldn't get along was immediately tossed aside. Of course, no animal could replace Lulu. Still, Baby took the little calf under her wing, so to speak, protecting her and doing all of things that Lulu once did for her. It was as if she was the little cow's official tour guide. The bond was immediate, the love instant, and even though Baby has never had a baby, she takes care of, protects and nurtures this little calf, all the things Lulu did for her. It's so incredible, Deb said happily. Now, the rescued cows could recover together. While Baby's friendship with Lulu was truly one of a kind, it seemed as if she found a way to continue that with her new friend. Of course, she would always have her beloved Lulu in her heart. Just as Lulu was destined to guide Baby, the blind cow was meant to do the same for the little calf. It's like they were made for each other. Share their beautiful story with your friends who love animals.
If you enjoyed this story, then wait for our next story starting in 10 seconds.
Getting a dog groomed does so much more than just make the pooch look fresh and smell clean. For some dogs especially, there are genuine health benefits to a good grooming, too. But not every grooming session goes as smoothly as it should. The dog below, for instance, went to the groomers for what should have been a routine cleaning and haircut. When the pooch returned home, however, people noticed that something was hilariously off about her. If there was one thing Alex Maldonado, center, from Miami, Florida, loved more than taking selfies in the bathroom mirror, it was his dog, a 10-year-old toy Maltese named Nieves, below. Nieves loved getting pets from Alex and looking good. That's why she wore Miami Dolphins jerseys and took regular trips to the groomer. But a recent trip didn't go so well. Alex's dad dropped her off at PetSmart for a grooming appointment, where Tex fluffed her fur and trimmed her nails. Then, when the appointment finished, he returned home with her. Only, there was a problem. There had been 2 white toy Maltese at PetSmart that day, and Alex's dad brought home the wrong one. Though cute, this fluffy dog was probably a New York Jets fan, or worse. Alex laughed off the error and shared the story on social media, where people had 2 questions. First, how did Alex know his dad brought home the wrong dog? They were, after all, practically identical. The imposter dog, Alex noted, had slight tear stains. Nieves didn't. Not Nieves was also a little bit bigger, and when he petted her, her hair was way too rough. Folks online also wanted to know how Alex's dad brought home the wrong dog, but that baffled Alex, too. And we've had her for 10 years, he said, amused. Old dad had an answer, though. My brother and I asked why he would take the dog home if he thought something was off, Alex said. He said, I thought I was getting old and my eyes were betraying me. Making it even tougher to tell, according to him, Alex wrote on Twitter, Not Nieves acted normal and followed him to the car and even jumped in as soon as he opened the door. Naturally, the Maldonados couldn't keep Not Nieves, so Alex and his brother, below, encouraged their dad to right his wrong. He agreed, saying, Yeah, I have to fix this before Mom gets home. The family bid farewell to Not Nieves and Alex's dad took no chances when he exchanged her for Nieves. Before taking another dog home, he texted Alex's brother to make sure he had the right one. The simple mix-up endeared Alex's dad to the internet, but hopefully, the true owner of Not Nieves didn't have a panic attack at the PetSmart. Still, as one Twitter user noted, it could have been worse. One time, my dad brought the wrong child home from kindergarten, the Twitter user wrote. The little girl was dressed exactly the same as my sister. He was running late and grabbed the first child he saw. Strangely, this mix-up wasn't the first time a freshly groomed animal caused confusion. In Norfolk, Virginia, for instance, locals spotted a lion on the loose by the zoo. Onlookers believed the well-groomed animal had escaped the Virginia Zoo. Concerned and a bit frightened, one of them called 911, but there was just one small problem. It wasn't a lion on the loose, but a labradoodle named Charles, freshly groomed to look like the mascot at Old Dominion University, a lion. The dog skyrocketed to national fame. Charles made an appearance on Good Morning America alongside his owner, Daniel Painter. But Charles's story didn't end with metaphorical bows on national television. Charles eventually demonstrated a knack for escaping Curtis's yard. Locals again called authorities when, just a few months later, they spotted a lion, still Charles, running free outside a Hardee's. In fact, Charles started being a public nuisance so often that Curtis landed in front of a judge and was sentenced to community service and required to pay a huge fine. Charles ended up temporarily behind bars. But you can't keep a good dog down. Just as Nieves and not Nieves returned to their proper homes, Charles did, too. Still, these dogs probably wished they skipped this particular grooming day.